Hey, what's happening, Form? Welcome to Spiny Dilbert. I am thinking of rebranding to Spiny Dilbert. Uh, I don't know, Sonic's not working out. I think videos about the comic book character Dilbert would just make me a happier person. Howard will still have a home on this channel, of course, too. Howard Hamlin videos. At the end of the day, I'm not a Sonic tuber, I'm a Howard tuber. But the Sonic videos, they're just easier to make, where, wow, Howard videos are quite the task. It's not easy making those Howard Hamlin videos, because a character of that strength only deserves the best. I guess Norman doesn't really refer to Sonic, though, so I can still be Spiny Norman. I just less Sonic videos in the near future, more Dilbert videos. You guys don't mind some Dilbert videos getting snuck in, right? Alright. Anyways, Sonic Frontiers came out. I initially was pretty skeptical about this game during all the promotions, and I don't think I'm completely in the wrong for that, because I think they did a pretty bad job marketing this game. They released like a trailer before release, and it was wonderful. And if they would have just made that the first trailer, no one would have reacted this way. But, I feel like they were really stressed with this one, because it's just been like, Generations came out and everyone loved it. Then Lost World came out and that was not a hit. Then they kind of got a little bit of a resurgence with Mania. And then boom, immediately after that, like months later, comes out Forces. And it's just such a bad look on the series. Like, the series has already had so many hits. And I feel for them, because here's the thing. I think that Lost World was genuinely trying something new. I have some respect for it. I don't think the game is very fun, but it was trying out something new. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate them, like, once Generations were done, they were done, okay, we're good on Boost for now. Let's try a different format out. And it just didn't work out. Granted, if they want to try a new format out, they could have kept the Wisps out of it, but conversation for another day. And then Forces, it felt like, okay, people really like Generations, let's try to do that again. And I think the game looks really nice, and I think the music in the game is really nice. Not that you can hear much of it, there's a great video on that out right now. I'll link that one, you should check it out. It's not mine, but it's very good. And it lets you hear some music that maybe you missed. But it's just, yeah, people say it's automated, and it does feel automated. It's probably I feel like 06 and Boom get defended more than Forces does. Just because Forces was kind of a nothing game. Not that there's nobody who doesn't like Forces, there's nobody who likes Forces, but it was rough. So Frontiers finally comes out, and I'm seeing people talk about it before it even was released, because some people got early copies, or maybe even came out earlier in certain countries, I'm not sure. And people seem to be liking it quite a bit. And then I finally pick up the game, and I just loved it immediately. I mean, it didn't even take long at all. I thought the opening cutscene was cool. I thought that, like, the initial gameplay just starting off was really cool. I was bitching about the camera to my friends, and then I realized my controller was just fucked up. I was like, the camera only moves counterclockwise. No, not clockwise. You can't, if I want to turn myself around, I have to wait for it to go all the way around. I'm like, I played like this for 2 hours before I realized that the controller was fucking up. So you'll see the gameplay footage here. I was doing really well with Frontiers, guys. I was doing really well. This is gonna be a spoiler-free video, and once I complete the game, I'll probably do a spoiler discussion on it. And then as for like the Let's Play and last call on it, that will happen, but that's probably like, if not 2023, like somewhere down the line. Because I don't know when I'm going to cover Frontiers the same way I cover these other games. The fun thing about covering these other games is there's been, like, so much time, they've been out long enough to where I know what I feel about them, how I feel about them. The Let's Play is kind of just a way to gather footage, but also kind of, like, rekindle all of my thoughts on those games. Maybe some opinions have changed, maybe some have gotten more positive, more negative. But for the most part, every single game of this series, is something that I have some form of opinion on, while Frontiers, it's good to let it sit for a bit. But after completing the first world, and I'm almost done with the second world, like, the big open zone, because there's a bunch of cyberspace levels too, I gotta say, I think this might be one of my favorite games of the entire series, and that surprises me, because by the time I heard people saying it was good, once it came out, and people, at tech demos, some events that had the game out, like, as a demo, they were saying it was good, so it felt felt pretty confident that this game was going to be good, but I felt like because of the way the open world zone looked, I didn't really like the way it looked that much. In cyberspace, levels didn't look like anything that special, so I was kind of thinking that, like, I just hope the game has enough content to warrant itself, you know? This doesn't look that fun, but people were saying it was good, so I'm like, it'll probably be decent, you know? It'll probably be fun to control Sonic at the very least, but I don't know if the levels are going to be any fun. And after playing the game, I just think it's perfect for him. I'm not saying that it couldn't be done better. I'd like for them to take what they did with Frontiers and expand on it, and hopefully, you know, a lot of people buying the games and a lot of people reviewing it positively will give them the opportunity to do that, because this is the direction they need to take him for a while. And I'm not saying this is what he needs to be forever. I like the fact that you have so many different takes on him. You have the original games, you know, the original 4 games, the Adventure series. You know, they tried a lot of different stuff out with, like, Heroes, Black Knight, and all of that fun stuff, Shadow. But then you have the Boost games, and now we have this. It's like the next generation. And yeah, it's pretty fucking good. I mean, it works really well for him, and there's like so much dignity in the writing, which I know sounds kind of silly for a, you know, fucking Sonic game, but no, this is what I want. It's it's like really basic stuff too. It's just acknowledgement of the game's universe. You know, a little bit of lore. Like, you're not really, there hasn't been any, there was like one moment so far that I was pretty surprised by that they like called back to. But for the most part, it's just little lines, you know, like they mention, I'm not going to spoil anything, I already said that. But there's fun little callbacks, but then there's just one moment that really took me off guard, and I've heard that there's even stronger moments like that as the game goes on. So I'm very interested in that, but it's not like nostalgia baiting too hard, it's just like a game that appreciates its own history. It's not shoving it in your face, it's not just making a stupid joke about it. No, it seems like, you know, I heard the guy's name's Ian Flynn. He apparently has had a long history of writing stuff for like comics of the games. He clearly is someone who has appreciation for them. And I think he knocked it out of the park with what I've played so far. The dialogue is so much better. I don't mind the deeper voice for Sonic. Roger Craig Smith, I think, works really good as a comedic Sonic, but I just don't think that the games are funny. I think the TV show, I haven't seen a lot of it, but from what I've seen of it, I think that is funny. So if you hire someone funny to give Roger Craig Smith lines, I think he's like out of the park with it. In the mainline games, I don't like the humor of Colors, Generations, Forces, Lost World. I think it's awful. I'm sorry. I do not like the writing of those 4 games. Generations, it doesn't really matter that much because story's clearly not like what they're focused on. Same thing with Colors, but then in like Lost World and Forces, it really stands out why it doesn't work. So them deepening his voice and making him a little bit more straight-faced, a little bit more serious works. But they didn't take away his personality. They didn't take away that fun side of him. They didn't take away the teasing side. You know, it's a good balance. I think they found a really good balance with him in this game. And same thing with all the other characters in it. I'm not going to name who's in it because maybe that's not even a spoiler. Maybe that was in the trailers. I don't remember. But there so far have been multiple characters from previous games that have appeared in it just by World 2. And I think every single one of them is written so much better than they have been in years, excluding the movies, because I like movies. I'm talking about mainline games. It's just, I really like the way they're written in this game, a lot. I mean, I can't express that more, because it's not like I ever needed these games to be like a masterpiece. They don't need to be Shakespeare. It's just simple conversations, simple, slow moments where the characters can just sit and talk, but it's believable. Like, these characters have a believable bond with one another. And even like, villainous characters, characters who, old ones and new ones, I think they work really well too. So it's not just like the friendships and whatnot. It's just, I think that overall they really found a good way to present the story and the dialogue. Music is wonderful, but even in Forces, the music's wonderful. 06, the music's wonderful. Music's always going to be good. If it's not good, then it's shocking. It's shocking when a Sonic game doesn't have good music in it. Even like Lost World, I think this music is a little boring, but it's not bad. It's not bad, it's just a little more generic than most games, but there's a couple tracks in that game. But yeah, I just, gameplay-wise, I had a lot of fun playing it. Yes, the worlds look a little weird when you're looking at them from afar, but as you're just kind of zooming around, I don't know, like, sometimes it looks really pretty, actually. Sometimes it looks really nice. And oh my god, there is like the climax of World 1. I just once it was done, I just put the controller down, messaged my group chat saying I think this might be my favorite 3D Sonic game. And now I have to take it back a little bit because I don't know. I feel like the original games, the Adventure series, and this, though, I would say that those are like the territory of my favorite games of the series is those original 4 games, Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, and now this. Like, not that there wasn't anything good between Adventure 2 and this. I like Unleashed a lot. I like Generations a lot. I think Colors has a lot of good moments, but a lot of it I'm not too fond of. Forces is bad. Lost World is bad. I remember having fun with Black Knight, but it's been a long time. Mania was really good then. Yeah, Mania was a great game. Where was I going with this? Yeah, but basically, like, I'd say Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 are like the last 2 games of the series that like really, really meant something to me. You know, like they, it's just like I fell in love with them when I played them. I can replay them nonstop, and for Frontiers, it's like I'm feeling that again. Like I said, I always had fun with new entries from the series. Even Forces, I think, is kind of interestingly bad. You know, it's not necessarily a fun game to play, but it is interesting. I think the series for that when it comes time on this channel will be a lot of fun, because it is something else, and there is things to appreciate about that game. And I feel bad about how stressed the people making this game were after, like, just because they really needed this one to be a hit. And it seems like they're getting their wish. People are praising this game. People I would have never expected to praise it. Like fucking Moist Critical made a video talking about how good the game is. I haven't seen the video yet, but it's just like it's out there and people on Twitter keep retweeting it. It's like, wow, Critical's talking about this. Because Sonic isn't really something that Moist Critical seems to talk about a lot, but the one time I did hear him talk about it, it was not positively. So yeah, you have like this big Twitch streamer, like this huge Twitch streamer praising the game. Every single like classic Nintendo Let's Play or like channels that cover Sonic are praising it. LS Mark made a lot of videos like showing how skeptical he was about it, which I didn't blame him, to be honest. I felt I was more positive about it than he was, but I also didn't blame I didn't necessarily blame his like reaction to the trailers and previews because I didn't like them either. But even he was saying it was pretty good on Twitter. I saw his tweets were the first thing I heard about the game. Actually, it was like, oh, Mark liked it. Okay, that's good because I know Mark would be honest about it. Mark isn't going to sugarcoat it. That's the one good thing about meaner critics, you know. I like to focus on positives a lot, but you know, when you even hear someone who's like always brutally honest say they like it, you know that like you can trust that opinion at least. I mean, you can at least trust that they're being genuine about it. They're not like afraid to say otherwise. But I understand, like, you know, going to an open mind before if the game's not even out yet. Still, I definitely wasn't, like, there's videos of me talking about it on this channel and other channels where I just was not skeptical about it. I mean, I was skeptical about it, and I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be any good, and I'm happy to report I love it so far. I mean, genuinely love it so far. And yeah, this video is a little all over the place, but that's kind of the point. It's a first impressions video. I will do a unscripted review once I complete the game, where I am going to talk spoilers in that one. Maybe I'll even do it with Chris and Stuart if they finish around the same time, if they're available, because they're playing it right now too. We can do a little podcast, maybe. I don't know. Well, that or I'll just do it alone and do a podcast on like Chris's channel if Chris wants to do a video on it, or the Duck Brigade if Stuart wants to talk about it. We'll figure something out, but yeah, really love it so far. I'm amazed by how much I loved it, because once I finally got it, I was excited and I was thinking it was going to be good, but I wasn't thinking it was going to be like top 5 good, because it is. If it maybe I haven't beaten it, maybe if it just starts feeling really repetitive to me, or I don't like something about the ending, or I think the levels, like the open worlds, get worse, maybe I won't feel that way anymore. But if it keeps up this pace where it just seems to keep getting better by the second, then yeah, this is going to be in my top 5 favorite games. I don't know if I'll be able to call it my number 1, just because that's something that you can't come up with right away. You have to let time, you know, see how time treats the game, see how time treats your experience of a game. But I can say with certainty that I love I love Sonic Frontiers. I'm really happy that I can say that. I'm really happy that they nailed it, and so the people who worked on it, who were very stressed about whether or not this was going to be the one that finally worked, you did it. You fucking nailed it out of the park. Good job. I I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I think there are going to be some people who don't like it. There actually have been some negative reviews of it, but it's been mainly positive, and I think it's warranted. I think it's completely warranted. What a good fucking year for good old Sonic. Movie 2, well received. Origins, kind of funny enough, not that well received, but I liked it. I thought Tails AI was really bad in Sonic 2, but last time I played it, it was all fixed up now. I didn't experience any of the bugs that other people experienced, but maybe I just got lucky. Maybe I just wasn't playing it like day one. I was playing it day one, but I wasn't playing Sonic 3 day one, and that was like the messy one. But still, I liked Origins. That's all that matters to me. I enjoyed Origins. I'm doing my 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles playthrough, and CD, matter of fact, on Origins. So yeah. And then there's this TV show coming out, which honestly, the TV show is like the one I'm least interested in. Like, up to the point where I'll probably watch the first episode and then decide whether I want to keep going or not. But like, I feel, even with being a channel, this being the channel that it is, I feel no obligation to watch it. I never watched all of Boom. I saw an episode or two. Where X, I never watched all the way through. We're doing it for the channel now, but I've only seen like handfuls of episodes up to that point. Even like Sad AM and Adventures, I saw a lot of it growing up, but I never sat down and watched the entire show. So yeah, not a single Sonic show that I've seen every episode of. So the shows aren't really what I'm that... I don't know. The shows are fine. I have nothing against the shows. I'll probably check out more of them as this channel goes on, but Prime looked cool. I saw the trailer and it looks cool. And I hope that people enjoy it, and I hope it just brings in a younger demographic of fans to the series. Keep this ship going. We need younger people to start playing the game. If it's just a bunch of fucking men in their 30s, we're gonna die eventually, right? No, I'm just kidding. I know there's a lot of kids who still like Sonic. It's just a lot of man children in this series, and I'm one of them, so don't take that as an insult. Anyways, bye.